Have you ever wondered how a tiny seed grows into a giant tree or how flowers bloom and fruits ripen? The secret lies in a fascinating field called plant physiology. So, what is it? In simple terms, plant physiology is the science of how plants work inside. Just like human physiology explains how our heart, lungs, and brain function, plant physiology tells us how roots absorb water, how leaves make food, and how stems transport everything around. It's the study of the life processes of plants. Among all these processes, water relations is one of the most fundamental. Why? Because without water, nothing else in a plant can work properly. If you understand how water moves in a plant, you understand the foundation of its life. Think of water as the blood of plants. It makes up 70 to 90% of a plant's body. It dissolves nutrients from the soil and carries them to every cell. It maintains the plant's shape and strength, helps in photosynthesis, and even cools the plant down on a hot day through a process called transpiration. Imagine if the water supply to your house was cut off, all activities would stop, right? It's the same for plants. If water stops, life stops. So, what exactly are water relations? It simply means how a plant manages its entire water system. This includes how it takes up water from the soil, how that water moves from the roots up to the leaves, and how the plant eventually loses some of that water back into the air. It's all about a plant's journey with water. Now, let's dive into the most important concept in water relations, one that often confuses students: water potential. Let's make it super simple. Water potential, represented by the Greek letter psi, basically tells us how strongly water wants to move. It's the potential energy of water in a system compared to pure water. Just think of potential energy as stored energy. A book on a table has the potential to fall. A stretched rubber band has the potential to snap back. Water stored in a dam has the potential to flow down. Water, like everything else in nature, moves from a high energy area to a low energy area. It flows from a high place to a low place. Electricity flows from high voltage to low voltage. Similarly, water always moves from an area of higher water potential to an area of lower water potential. For example, if you have a glass of pure water and a glass of sugar water, the pure water has higher water potential, so water will naturally want to move from the pure water to the sugar water. The unit for water potential is usually a measure of pressure, like megapascals or bars, but don't worry too much about that. Just remember it's about the direction of water movement. Water potential is like a final exam score. Your final score is a total of your test marks, your viva, and your assignments. Similarly, the total water potential is the sum of a few different components. The main ones are osmotic potential, pressure potential, and matric potential. First up, osmotic potential. This is the effect that dissolved stuff like salts and sugars has on water. When you add solutes to water, they reduce the water's energy and its ability to move freely. This is why osmotic potential is always a negative value. Pure water has the highest possible water potential, which we define as zero. The moment you add solutes, the energy decreases, so the value becomes negative. The more solutes you add, the more negative the osmotic potential gets. A simple example: if you put a potato strip in salt water, the salt water has a lower, more negative water potential. So water moves out of the potato and into the salt water, causing the potato to become soft and floppy. Next is pressure potential. This is the physical pressure created by water inside a plant cell. When water enters a cell, the cell swells up and its wall pushes back. This internal pushing force is called turgor pressure. In a healthy, well-watered plant cell, this pressure is positive and it's what keeps plants upright and leaves expanded. It's crucial for cell growth and the opening and closing of stomata, the tiny pores on leaves. Without this positive pressure, a plant wilts. Sometimes in the plant's water conducting tubes called xylem, the pressure can become negative as water is pulled upwards, like sucking water through a straw. Finally, we have matric potential. This is a very easy concept. It's all about water's tendency to stick to solid surfaces. Think about how water clings to soil particles to the cell walls or to a dry seed. This sticking action reduces the water's freedom to move, thereby lowering its potential. Matric potential is especially important in very dry soil or when a dry seed starts to absorb water. When you soak dry seeds, they swell up because these powerful matric forces pull water in. This process is called imbibition. So, to recap, plant physiology is how plants work. Water is essential for everything. And water potential, which is the sum of osmotic, pressure, and matric potentials, tells us exactly where that water will move. Understanding this is key to understanding plant life. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, please give this video a like and subscribe for more simple science explanations. See you next time.